Welcome to Streamline Episode 1, where we focus on connecting businesses and simplifying success. I'm Holly Nixon. I'm Head of Marketing and Head of Socials here. And today we are joined by two very special guests and very excited to introduce Worldpay. I mean, what a business to start. So thank you for joining us, guys.
No problem.
So I'm joined by Charlotte Mitchell, who is Partnership Manager, and Andy Gamble, who is Account Director. First of all, to kick off, let's share what happened this morning.
Yes.
So we did set a 12:30 start time, but you guys decided to join at 10:30.
We did. We thought the time was 11. We got here early. We were welcomed in. We were ready to sit and have a podcast. Only luckily did she ask if there was anything we didn't want to speak about, where we realised we'd come to the wrong podcast. We were nearly talking about swimming, which would have been fine. I love cold water swimming, so I'd have been happy to have done the podcast. I don't know how happy the host would have been to realise we weren't her guests, but it would have been fun.
It would have been a great discussion. And were you ready to do that?
I was ready. I'm not sure what sort of input I could have put into swimming, but
You might be back. You might be back. So guys, please just give us a little bit of an insight into Worldpay, who you are, what you do to kick off.
Yeah, absolutely. So Worldpay, we are the #1 card provider across the UK and Europe. We process roughly 1 in every 2 transactions for any business that needs to take money from their customers. So whether it be face-to-face, over the phone, online, a plethora of different businesses that we work with. But yeah, we just are trying to make that process streamline for them. And yeah, just help businesses to grow, to thrive, and helping the process be good for the customer.
And specifically, how does your technology help SMEs? I guess you work with an array of size business, from a one-man band to larger.
Yeah, we do. All the way from the one-man bands up to enterprise, really. But we have a large stack of products that can help different clients depending on their needs. So we have specific products that are directed for your startups and your smaller businesses. And then we have large products that will fit in the enterprise space. So it really depends on the type of business, the size of them, to what product they need.
Yeah. And is that where they come through to you online on a website to do, or how would they get in touch with you on that?
So the great thing I think about Worldpay is that we do have teams that are dedicated to each separate, I guess, business size, for want of a better way of describing it. And they can come through to us in any way. So they can find us online. They can be passed through social media, but we also will contact businesses to find out how their card payments are going at the moment, how they're with their current provider. And then we have a large task force of field agents that are going out and visiting businesses, just to try and spread the word and help people to improve their current card payment facilities.
And how does that help when it comes to business efficiency? I mean, I'm a business owner myself, and just off air, we were talking about how I'm having to do a lot of the legwork and bank transfer. I know time would probably be one thing, but is there other ways that it helps with businesses?
I think the one of the major ways that Worldpay helps businesses is by having those dedicated teams. So if I just use our field agents as an example, so our job at Worldpay is to be in the know of everything card payments. And for a business owner, their business is the most important thing. So naturally, they are going to want a specialist to come in and help them. So with our specialists going in to these businesses, and every business is different. Every business works in a different way. So our agents are able to go in, learn about that business, learn about how those people, how the customers are paying, and then they're able to find the right solution to suit that business. It'll improve efficiency. It'll take time away from the business owner. They can focus on their business rather on admin, which is what we spoke with you about earlier. But also as well, it'll help them to be able to grow their business. The possibilities are endless, really. We can help them to go online, which is after COVID is a massive thing for businesses to then be able to take payments online.
I think that's really good that you've got the personal touch, the belly to belly, as I call it, of actually coming into businesses and understanding, because I think there's so many there's so many businesses doing the same thing as us, right? It's about how do you know what's going to be personable and right for you? And I know for me, I've been caught up online searching for something that I think I need for my business, paying £100 for the year, not realising I don't actually need it. But you guys can come in, because I imagine you've got lots of different devices, machines. Yeah. So you can not only save the merchant money, but making sure that it really does fit their business style.
Yeah, we don't want our merchants... Well, our aim is that our merchants won't be spending copious amounts of time trying to deal with their card payment facility in whatever form they take it, is that they're spending their time focusing on their business. And then rather than us being reactive and trying to fix things, we can then just be supportive and help to improve and support as they grow.
Love that. So there was a mention of COVID, the big C. You guys must have see a huge increase in terms of the e-commerce use of transactions. Like how game changing was that for you?
Yeah, I mean, it really helped. Worldpay really helped businesses during COVID, especially because it's kind of when cash died.
Yeah.
You know, no one wanted to handle money because it was going through different hands. So cards was key back then. So I think it really helped businesses stay alive, you know, because I mean, a lot of business sadly did close during COVID. So having the facility to be able to take card payment, whether that be face to face, that was a bit difficult at certain times. But if they can bring their business online, Worldpay were there to support them with an e-commerce platform.
Cool.
Yeah, when I think about COVID for my family, and I don't know if you guys remember, it was a really warm summer when that first COVID lockdown hit. So we did a lot of gardening, and we were able to buy from our local garden centre over the phone by taking card. Yeah. So they weren't even necessarily online, but they were still able to take a payment from us and then deliver the products to us in a safe way. So that suite of products that we've got for how every different business works, I think is
that's a lot of businesses as well are unaware on how you can take a payment over the phone. You know,
I wouldn't know.
This is the thing. You know, they think card payments is a terminal that they either tap or pop their card in, right? I mean, that's the most popular way to make card payment. But there's so many other products that are secure and easier to use for a telephone payment.
Yeah.
You know, for example, if you've got a business, let's say like a garden centre or a small independent garden centre that's got one machine there, but there's 10 people wanting to order all this luxury garden furniture for this summer that we're having. They're limited to one machine, so it's, you know, to give that customer time back, they could use a different product where multiple people can access it, and it just speeds that queue time up, you know.
Yeah, love that. And what are some of the key payment trends that you're seeing at the moment, and how can businesses stay competitive online?
I would say, I mean, if we're looking at online payments, that everyone's ordering online. I mean, if we go back to last year, I mean, don't quote me on the number, but it was average 50% of card transactions placed online is via a mobile wallet. So your Apple Pay and Google Pay. And I think the stats might be there or thereabouts right, but I think 2027, they think it's going to get to like 67%. So if you think more than half of your payments are going to be placed online are going to be Apple Pay and Google Pay. So having that function to offer to your customers is key.
I always think with stats as well like that, like, is it just that slightly older generation that, like, I'm thinking my mum or my dad, for example, even my nan, that those lot that just aren't really with it when it comes to the online space.
Like, I mean, it's a shame in a way, because you can see in high streets now, even we mentioned it earlier when we were driving, you can see the high streets, the shops are closing, there's less and less and less. I think there probably is an element of what you're saying. There's a demographic of people that are used to and more comfortable paying for things face to face. And there are obviously products that you have to get face to face. So, you know, or services more than products that you have to get face to face. But yeah, you saying about people not wanting to handle cash really is dying, and it's not going to be around for...
How long do you think till that dies out?
I don't think it ever will.
Yeah.
I don't think it ever will. But who's to know? But I mean, birthday cards, right? That's the only time I ever receive
Do you know,
cash.
yeah, like from my nan and
So
granddad.
I hope it doesn't die down.
From my nan and granddad that don't know how to do a bank transfer. The fiver in the card. I mean, it blows my mind. I couldn't even tell you the last time I've been into like my local Milton Keynes and gone to a shop. And for me, what you said about Apple Pay is so interesting, because if it hasn't got Apple Pay, I just don't want to spend my time.
Exactly
I don't know my card details off by heart.
Yeah, I'm the same.
And it's interesting how, I think, lazy we've got as a society, really.
But it's important because you want to make any card payment process, you want to make easy and streamlined for your customers, right?
Yeah.
So if they can go on and just double click a button and it fills in their address and everything, it's a quick sale, they're more likely to stay on page and they're not going to drop off and go do something else. So I really think it's key that mobile wallets is important to have if you're
I think cash will naturally die out as that generation grows.
Yeah.
And so our younger generation today that are used to everything being online or Apple Pay like we do, as they get to be the older generation, that's when I think we'll see the
complete
decrease.
change.
Yeah.
Touching on COVID, there was a real change in how people were doing business. I think a lot more people saw the benefits of being online. And as a result, we saw a big increase in subscription-based businesses as well. How can you guys help with subscription-based businesses?
So we can offer future pay payments. So we have a functionality in one of our gateways where you can do recurring payments via a card. Now, there's lots of people that can do that. But something that's very important on a recurring payment when you're taking by card is that you need to be aware that the card has a lifespan, right? Each card has an expiry date. So a problem to a business would be that if that expires, say, June 2025 and their payment's due in July, it's not going to go through because they've obviously got an expired card on file. So that then brings not problems, but more time and resource for the business to update those details. So Worldpay has functionality where we can have a kind of file where it notifies you of when it's going to expire and so on. So it allows that business to keep on top of their payments so that nothing's missed.
That's good.
Also a better journey for their customers.
And customer retention as well, is that kind of similar thing with the card expiring? You
absolutely
notify businesses.
Yeah. Well, I just feel that a business wants to, if someone's on a recurring billing, it's easy, okay, right? It's easy for the business, it's easy for the consumer or customer. If you have to interrupt that, it's not a good journey. It can be problematic. It's just something that the businesses don't need, and the customer doesn't really want to have a phone call to bring that in. So I think it's important that if you streamline that process, customer retention is much better.
Yeah, and if a customer's happy with the service or product they're getting, the last thing they need is a phone call every so often to redo their card. Yeah.
Have you seen a big spike in subscription businesses?
That would be you. I suppose you see more than I would.
Yeah. Slightly, I would say, yeah. I mean, it's for a business, it's easy, it's done, it's in the background, right?
Yeah. And it's leverage as well, isn't it?
Exactly, yeah. And I think it's a good way to keep your customer base, to retain your customers, because there's things that I've been subscribed to in the past and don't use, but you just forget, right? But it's easy to have access to that because you haven't then got to go and purchase again and so on. So yeah, I think it's important.
And actually we've become very lazy as consumers, like even your likes of Amazon. I know other companies where I have a toothpaste that turns up every month for me.
Yeah, the exact same thing.
Yeah.
I was thinking, I don't personally see it from our point of view because of the department team that I work in, but as a consumer, I definitely see. For an example, I just bought a new water filter. The first thing it asked me is, do I want to subscribe to the regular delivery of the filters? So I would say as a consumer, I'm definitely seeing an increase in the option to subscribe to and then to not have to think about how often I need that. It's going to be there every...
Yeah, and it makes sense as well from a business perspective because, you haven't got the sales team doing the follow-ups. You're saving financially there. It's just smart business, isn't it?
It is for a business, absolutely, yeah.
And we were talking offline about, the rise in AI and how scary that can be for some businesses. How is that, how are you kind of working with that to combat fraud? Because I've personally been seeing a lot on my social media at the moment, a lot of voiceovers, people having their faces, IDs stolen. It's overwhelming.
Yeah, it can be.
Worldpay for sure utilising AI. It's the good thing about Worldpay with our fraud prevention, etc., is that, like Charlotte said earlier, we process almost 1 in 2 transactions in the UK. So if you put that down to 50% of card payments go via a Worldpay solution. So what that means is that we hold 50% of the data that's being processed. The other 50% is then shared between other businesses like Worldpay. So we can see trends, we can see the processing that's happening on different card types so that we can, we can
mitigate.
Yeah, and we can see it before it happens,
Right.
So if we can offer, help our customers with that, it's going to help them in the long term, because fraud's a scary word, right? Nobody wants to see or hear it.
So as an example of that, if I've just brought, I don't know, a drink from my local shop, but then you see somebody just brought, I don't know, a Gucci perfume at the airport, that's how you're combating it? Is that what you mean? Like, you're able to see that there's
we
a
can
difference
see trends
there,
on, if you're more for sort of the card holder as well, you know. So if we've got a business that we can see that this card has been used regularly for £30, but then it starts to be used for £1,000 often, that would just raise flags, so that we can then investigate it before it does get to fraud, if it was to ever go that way.
Banks are definitely using AI in the way that you're speaking. It can be used in such a positive way. There are lots of scary things that is happening with AI, and sometimes I think we get fed all of the negative media.
A lot of scaremongering, for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. But actually, if you think about how fast that type of computing would be able to see that you've used your card where you live, but somebody else has used your card miles away from where you were, the natural thing would be that that's not you. So in that way, AI is amazing.
Do you guys use like a voice thing? Because I know with my bank that I personally bank with, I can now check in through my voice. And then that's where I get nervous, because I'm always on my socials, talking on my stories, talking on my feed. So it doesn't take a brain surgeon to realise that my voice could be taken instantly.
Yeah, we don't use voice activation for our customers being able to speak to the team, our internal team, about their accounts. The frightening thing is that that's not even AI.
Right.
Now there's fraud that happens out there, and they find so many different ways to get into people's accounts and to pretend to be other people. I would say that Worldpay as a business is doing everything they possibly can to keep their customers safe, following GDPR, and ensuring that they monitor the transactions, they monitor the behaviour of all of their customers to mitigate that as best we can.
So in effect, it's actually helping speed up the customer service that they do
absolutely,
with you guys. Okay, interesting. And with that comes data analytics. How does Worldpay play a part in that, in terms of using the data to drive growth for maybe the business independently or you guys as a business?
Yeah, so I think a couple of ways. We talked about business dashboard, didn't we? And then integrated payments. Do you want to talk about business dashboard?
Yeah. So we have a dashboard where you can view everything down to individual transactions and so on, which could be great for a customer if, I'm trying to think of an example here, but I'll come back to dashboard. But if we look at integrated payments, and you have a till system or your CRM system, and Worldpay are connecting into that and to your online, and you've got lots of stock in various places. So you've got stock for in a store and you've got stock for online. It's important for that business to know when something's getting low,
right,
so they can reorder. But not only that, if they see, let's say in March, there's a big trend that this product is being sold a lot more, that helps then for the business to do promotions and speed things like that. So we do use a lot of data to help our customers with their time and resources with stock. So if stocks are getting low, we can send warnings so that they know that they can do it, and they can track everything back into our dashboard. But it's more that the business can keep trading and not have to come to anything that's like an urgent halt, So if bars especially is an easy one to use, if I'm a big Guinness drinker. So if Guinness gets down to a low, I want to make sure that they're with Worldpay
so they know when.
We can ensure that they
personally look after that account.
They can also tell with the integrated payments so this product sells more at this time of the day.
Right.
This is when we're busier, so we need more staff at this time of the day.
Wow.
Yeah. So, or this product isn't selling, so we need to put this product on sale. And what size company could benefit from that? Is that like a one-man band that would have access to a dashboard, or is it more so you guys have the dashboard and then communicate that to the business? I think
every
any
customer
business,
with Worldpay will have access to that dashboard. So it's important that they can see transactions, right? For whether it be queries, reconciling. But every customer would have access to their own dashboard.
Yeah. And then with the integrated payments, I think, again, any business, you could have a garden centre, for example, that sells a plethora of thousands of products, but you could have a pizza van that needs to know when they're busiest, what different products people are buying, when is the best time to have those products. I'm there on a Saturday at this time, but I only got 2 customers, but on a Saturday evening, I got 100. So there's no point in me being there. I'm better off being somewhere else. So
that's really impressive, because I think a lot of businesses struggle of knowing when to scale their business. Yeah. And by the sounds of it, not only is that saving time, but finances, it's giving you like, okay, this is where I now need to outsource and bring in new people and things like that.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
That's really impressive. I didn't know you guys did that.
Yeah, and with the integrated payments as well, like we were talking about before, there's different apps that they can add on to the system for different things. Like just as an example, if they're a butcher's, they can add weighing scales to the system and
booking systems.
Yeah, if it's a bakery, just so many different things that different apps that are available for these integrated systems.
It brings speed as well. If you think something that's integrated, let's go not integrated. So if you've just got a store with a terminal, if you put something in your till and it tells you it's £10.95, you then over to your terminal, £10.95.
Yeah.
Now that could be £1,095 if there's a small
human error.
Yeah.
It's interesting because I still see people jotting down stock. So I'd like walking into the smaller shops and see them jotting down stock. So that could be saving them so much time.
Absolutely.
And then I guess if anyone's stealing anything, because you have to think from that aspect as well.
Yeah, stock take. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Gives them proper clarity.
Yeah. And it can connect with their accounting software as well. So they
don't even need to deal with their accountant.
No.
Guys, if that's not a reason to sign up, I can't stand all of that. Wow, that's really impressive.
Yeah, and not just that, not just our integrated products, but there's we work with partners that can provide software to allow people to connect with their accounting software, and then limit the time that they're spending doing accounting.
Do you ever have, obviously you've got such an array of different systems and things. Do you, obviously business changes as well. Do you ever have team that go in for like a checkup with the business to see how they're doing, see how the business is changing, maybe you change systems and things like that?
Yeah, absolutely. Our customers get regular contact. It's important, especially from the beginning. If you're having a small business join with Worldpay, the expectation is they're going to grow. That's their hopes and dreams, right? So they will need different products as they move on, different support, different conversations with different people within Worldpay. So maintaining contact with our customers is important.
Yeah, our account management team look after businesses and help with everything Andy mentioned.
How does Worldpay support the SMEs in comparison to the larger corporations?
So this is where the different teams, I think, are key. So having separate teams for each separate business card turnover allows that team to specialise and learn and grow with businesses and to really learn what those types of businesses need. Because even though you have different sectors, the businesses tend to be more similar and their needs tend to be more similar in those brackets. And then we can also grow those businesses as they grow up in those brackets as well. So I think having those separate teams that specialise in supporting those businesses helps.
Yeah, totally agree. And as they move through Worldpay, they move through the different teams that we've got to ensure they're getting the right advice and support that they need.
Question, how do you think you compare to your competitors? Like, what do you do differently?
I think so a few things. So I have always felt that one of the major differences in Worldpay is that we do everything in-house. So we do our solutions, our acquiring, which is the moving of the money, all in-house, which means that any business that work with us, we can support them with everything in taking their card payments. Now, there are banks that do that as well. But what I think about Worldpay is we don't do mortgages, we don't do loans, we just do card payment facilities. And so that is our focus. So all of our resources go into ensuring that our customers are getting the most up-to-date solutions, they're getting the best service, and that we use our, as we grow, everything we do is tunneled into card payments.
Impressive.
Yeah. Our values as well, our staff think like a customer, so we want the outcome that they want, right? And we have 24 hours, 7 days, 365 days of the year support. So,
oh, really?
Yeah. So, which is really important. If you imagine a business that's open weekends or nightclubs that are open late at night, something was to go wrong, that can really impact their business. So it's important that they've got someone to contact.
And the technical side as well, of people coming out and fixing things and stuff like that. I guess you have people out on the road if it breaks. We don't want to put that out there, but these things happen,
Yeah, as staff at Worldpay, the message has always been about the customer. The customer is the most important. If the customer isn't getting the service they need, why aren't they? What do they need? What could we improve? What can we do better?
Amazing.
Yeah, the feedback's important. With any business, not everybody is going to be happy, So, we pride ourselves in an excellent score on Trustpilot. But naturally, there are going to be businesses that aren't getting the service that they think they should be getting or the solution that they think they should be getting. And that is important. We want to be there for those businesses as well as the businesses that are happy.
Of course. Lastly, what have you guys got coming up? Is there anything you can share in terms of products or excitement, or I put you on the spot? You have to ask.
We have a couple of exciting products coming up online and in store. And it's all about helping our customers move fast with things that are changing.
Yeah. And that data piece that we spoke about earlier.
Yeah. It's not there yet, so we can't say too much, but there's some really cool stuff coming. Yeah.
We've got a world exclusive, guys, on the first episode. Amazing. On that, guys, I just want to thank you so much for coming in.
Thank you.
I think you've done great in your first one. You'll be back. You'll definitely be back later on this year. And we will put all of the description details. So if you want to connect with the team at Worldpay and use them, and also, of course, Streamline's details to look further into our business. Make sure you check them out. But other than that, over and out. Thank you again, guys.
Thanks, Holly.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you.